Mass incarceration has clearly become a prevalent issue that has been getting increasingly worse since 1950 to 2016. It can currently be considered an epidemic in the U.S. at this point, and something needs to be done. According to this graphic from the Southern Poverty Law Center, the United States only accounts for about 5% of the world's population, a relatively small figure. However, when it comes to the amount of prisoners in the world, the United States is responsible for 25% of the population. A quarter of the world's prison population is incarcerated in the United States, a country that represents 1/20th the world's population. The United States has the highest incarcerated population in the world, with more than 2 million people currently imprisoned at various levels of correctional facilities. This high number is correlated with various reasons of imprisonment, many of which are done through racial prejudice, targeting, and profiling. Mass incarceration has disproportionately impacted minorities, especially African Americans, due to racial prejudice within the United States. Blacks and whites use marijuana at about the same rate. However, blacks are about 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession. This is a clear representation why mass incarceration is an injustice. It leads to African Americans and other minorities having their rights violated. Convicted felons are stripped of various rights, such as voting, international travel, the right to bear arms, service on a jury, the ability to be employed in some fields, public social benefits/housing, and parental benefits. This is important because these rights are used every day whether we realize it or not. So having these rights taken away can affect people's lives quite significantly. The overcrowding of jails and prisons certainly doesn't help one's health either. According to the research done by Christopher Wildman, a professor at Yale University, Science Direct says that, at the population level, imprisonment is negatively associated with life expectancy and positively associated with infant mortality. The associations are strongest for blacks. 2012. Approximately 76% of inmates held in jails have not yet been convicted of a crime. They are either awaiting trial and are legal presumed innocent or cannot pay the bail due to disparities in socioeconomic status that the current criminal justice system fails to account for. Evidently, something needs to be done to prevent this problem from increasing. Lower-level offenses should be re-evaluated on what the person's penalty results to. The current judges need to have more discretion as to what is considered a worthy violation. The judges can also be better about assigning probation, rather than actual prison time. Additionally, further facilities and programs should be implemented to better the lives of individuals who have committed any sort of minor offense. This will make it so prisons are less crowded and are mainly for people who have committed major crimes. By changing the minimum sentencing for various crimes, judges would have more discretion as to whether or not a person shall truly be imprisoned. For example, the current state of the government allows for non-violent drug offenders to be imprisoned for a rather long sentencing. However, if this current sentencing, which varies between states, was reduced, the judge would be able to reduce the punishment to a monetary fine. With the installation of new prison sentences and monetary fines, it may be difficult to decipher the severity of current prisoners' situations. Of course, one would hope that many of these low-level offenders are granted amnesty, but it may not be possible to grant amnesty to everyone. How could the government officials declare who is deserving of being freed? Should everyone in this predicament be released from behind bars? It's very difficult to say. In the voting process, as citizens, we have the right and responsibility to elect officials that will help cure the current epidemic of mass incarceration. Between election periods, we can work to become more involved in programs and organizations that work to relieve this situation. By doing so, our voice as one individual citizen is strengthened with a collective community.